Imagine walking onto one of the biggest stages in the world with millions of people watching. Your hands are shaking, your heart is racing, and standing just a few feet away is Simon Cowell, the man known for making or breaking careers with a single comment. Now imagine that, within just a few minutes, you completely silence the room. That was exactly what happened when Courtney Hadwin stepped onto the stage of America's Got Talent in 2018. At first glance, she looked like an ordinary 13-year-old girl from a quiet English village. She spoke softly, appeared shy, and seemed overwhelmed by the bright lights surrounding her. Then the music started. The moment Courtney began singing Otis Redding's classic, Hard to Handle, everything changed. Her powerful, gritty voice stunned the judges and audience alike. The timid teenager transformed into a fearless performer with energy that seemed impossible for someone her age. Within minutes, she had become an international sensation. Millions of people watched her audition online, and critics immediately compared her to legendary singers like Janis Joplin. Simon Cowell praised her incredible talent, while Judge Howie Mandel was so impressed that he hit the coveted golden buzzer, sending Courtney straight to the live shows. It looked like the beginning of a dream career. But what happened after the cameras stopped rolling tells a very different story. Behind the standing ovations, television appearances, and record deals was a teenager trying to navigate an adult industry that often demanded far more than she was ready to give. Today, we're taking a closer look at Courtney Hadwin's remarkable journey. From a gifted child with extraordinary talent to an artist determined to reclaim her own voice. Long before America discovered Courtney Hadwin, she was growing up in the quiet village of Heselden in County Durham, England. Life there couldn't have been more different from Hollywood. Raised by her parents, Paul and Anne-Marie, alongside her younger siblings, Courtney enjoyed a relatively ordinary childhood. Music was always present in the family home, and from an early age, she loved singing whenever she had the chance. Unlike many performers who spend years chasing fame, Courtney's passion wasn't driven by celebrity. She simply loved music. She admired artists who sang with raw emotion and soul rather than polished perfection. Those influences would eventually shape the unique voice that captivated millions. As she entered primary school, Courtney became increasingly interested in performing. She joined local music programs, experimented with different singing styles, and gradually gained confidence on stage. One important moment came after she watched Connie Talbot perform on Britain's Got Talent. Seeing another young singer achieve national recognition convinced Courtney that perhaps her own dreams weren't impossible after all. From that point forward, she dedicated herself to improving every chance she got. Around the age of 10, Courtney began taking singing far more seriously. She attended vocal lessons, participated in local performances, and regularly practiced at home. Teachers quickly realized they weren't working with an ordinary student. Her voice carried a remarkable maturity. Instead of sounding like a typical child singer, Courtney possessed a raspy, soulful tone that reminded listeners of classic rock and blues legends. One lunchtime performance at school would prove especially important. She performed Say Something by a Great Big World and Christina Aguilera during an open mic session. Someone recorded the performance and uploaded it online. Within days, the video spread throughout the local community. Friends, teachers, and even strangers couldn't believe such a powerful voice belonged to such a young girl. The encouragement motivated Courtney to continue developing her craft. Rather than relying only on natural talent, she spent countless hours improving her technique through formal training. She attended several performing arts schools and vocal academies across Northeast England, learning everything from breathing exercises to stage presence. Each lesson helped prepare her for opportunities that were just around the corner. While many people first discovered Courtney on television, she'd already spent years performing before live audiences. She entered local talent competitions, appeared at community events, and slowly built a reputation as one of the region's brightest young performers. In 2015, she competed in Teen Star UK. Although she didn't become an overnight celebrity, reaching the competition's final introduced her to a much wider audience. The following year brought even greater success. Courtney earned Hartlepool's Performer of the Year award and continued impressing judges wherever she performed. She also appeared in Open Mic UK, another respected music competition that gave young singers valuable experience performing under pressure. Perhaps one of her biggest early milestones came when she opened for the legendary group Sister Sledge during the South Tyneside Festival. Performing before thousands of people would intimidate most adults. Courtney embraced the challenge. Each appearance strengthened her confidence while sharpening her stage presence. Although success was slowly growing, fame still seemed a long way off. Behind every successful young performer is usually a strong support system. For Courtney, that support came from her family. Her parents recognized her remarkable talent long before television producers ever did. Rather than pushing her toward fame, they simply encouraged her to pursue something she genuinely loved. Her father worked extra jobs to help pay for travel expenses, fuel, vocal lessons, and competition fees. Every audition required long journeys across England. Every opportunity came with financial sacrifices. Yet the family continued supporting Courtney's dream because they believed in her potential. Her grandfather also played an important role. According to family members, Courtney even performed as a busker in local areas to earn money that could help cover music lessons and travel costs. These experiences taught her valuable lessons about hard work and perseverance. Nothing came easily. Every performance represented countless hours of preparation and the unwavering encouragement of the people closest to her. Before America ever heard Courtney Hadwin's name, British audiences had already witnessed her incredible talent. In 2017, she auditioned for The Voice Kids UK. Her explosive performance immediately caught the attention of coach Danny Jones, earning her a place on his team. Throughout the competition, Courtney continued surprising audiences with her fearless song choices. Week after week, she tackled difficult classics that many experienced singers would hesitate to perform. Her confidence grew with every appearance. Although she didn't win the competition, reaching the final proved something important. She could compete on national television while maintaining the authenticity that made her unique. That experience also prepared her for something much bigger. Only months later, producers from America's Got Talent invited Courtney to audition for season 13. Neither Courtney nor her family could have imagined how dramatically that single invitation would change her life forever. When Courtney Hadwin stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage in 2018, almost nobody expected what was about to happen. She appeared nervous. Her voice trembled as she introduced herself to the judges. Standing before Simon Cowell, Howie Mandel, Heidi Klum, and Mel B, she looked like any shy teenager who had wandered onto one of television's biggest stages. The audience smiled politely. But the moment the backing track for Otis Redding's Hard to Handle began, everything changed. Courtney exploded into the performance with an intensity that left the theater speechless. Her raspy vocals, fearless stage movements, and unmistakable confidence transformed her from a quiet schoolgirl into a performer who looked like she had been entertaining crowds for decades. People couldn't believe what they were hearing. Simon Cowell stared in disbelief. Even before the song ended, the audience was already on its feet. When the performance finished, the theater erupted into one of the loudest standing ovations of the season. Simon delivered the comment that would soon be repeated across the internet. "You were this shy little thing when you walked out. And then you sing, and you're like a lion." Those words instantly became part of Courtney's story. Moments later, Howie Mandel slammed the golden buzzer, showering the stage with golden confetti while Courtney stood frozen in disbelief. It was the beginning of a life-changing journey. Courtney's audition spread across social media almost immediately. Within hours, millions of people had watched the video. Reaction channels, television programs, entertainment websites, and music critics all shared clips of her performance. Viewers around the world asked the same question. How could someone so young possess such a mature, soulful voice? Many compared her to Janis Joplin because of the raw emotion in her singing. Others believed they were witnessing one of the greatest auditions in America's Got Talent history. Everywhere Courtney looked, people were talking about her. Newspapers praised her. Television hosts discussed her. Music fans debated whether she could become the next global superstar. For a 13-year-old girl from a small English village, the sudden attention was overwhelming. Yet despite the enormous expectations, Courtney continued performing brilliantly throughout the competition. Each round showcased another side of her remarkable talent. She wasn't simply relying on one memorable audition. She consistently proved she belonged among the competition's strongest contestants. Although she eventually finished 6th overall, many fans believe her placement didn't reflect the impact she had made. Winning the competition suddenly seemed less important. Courtney had already won something far bigger. She had captured the world's attention. After the competition ended, another incredible opportunity arrived. Simon Cowell offered Courtney a recording contract through Psycho Music in partnership with Arista Records. For almost any young singer, this represented a dream come true. Signing with one of the biggest names in the music industry seemed like the natural next step. Courtney herself expressed excitement about creating original music. She hoped to write songs that reflected her personality while developing into a serious recording artist. Everything appeared to be falling perfectly into place. Fans expected her debut album to arrive quickly. Music executives predicted a bright future. The entertainment industry had discovered its newest young star. But behind closed doors, reality looked very different. Success arrived almost overnight. Unfortunately, so did enormous pressure. At just 14 years old, Courtney suddenly found herself living a life filled with recording sessions, interviews, promotional appearances, and constant travel between the United Kingdom and the United States. Instead of focusing on school, family, and ordinary teenage experiences, she was expected to perform like a seasoned professional. The music industry moves fast. Record labels invest heavily in promising artists and often expect immediate results. For Courtney, that meant endless meetings with producers, songwriters, executives, and marketing teams. Everyone seemed to have an opinion. Everyone believed they knew exactly what kind of artist she should become. But there was one problem. Courtney herself was still discovering who she wanted to be. As recording sessions continued, Courtney reportedly began feeling increasingly disconnected from the music being created around her. Rather than developing naturally as an artist, she often felt pushed toward a carefully designed commercial image. The comparisons to Janis Joplin had helped launch her career. Now, they also created expectations that were difficult to escape. Industry professionals wanted to build a marketable brand. Courtney wanted to create honest music. Those goals didn't always match. She later explained that it often felt as though other people were deciding how she should sound and who she should become. Insanity.